What is going on, y'all? This is your boy Saint Irving. Today we got the system overview trailer, and basically it broke down everything we mostly knew in a very condensed, organized fashion, so it was pretty appreciated. It gave us a lot more gameplay, showed us a little bit of sneak peek of a lot more characters that we already have seen, but then also it also gave us a little bit of a hint of what we should be expecting. So I'm breaking all of this down. So with the story mode, we're going to be seeing Ichigo and the main storyline unfolded from the beginning of the substitute arc all the way to the end of the Arrancar arc. With secret mode, you're going to be seeing original storylines, and where we'll be able to see these side characters get some highlights and some shine. So we're going to be able to see what they're doing during the battles, during the fights, during the stories, things like that. So we're getting some extra original content, which is always awesome. We're also getting some mission mode, which means that we might be able to fight some hollows. We might be fighting a series of different characters back to back, and we might be able to use the crystals for that specifically. Now, the thing that really got most people was that 1,000-Year Blood Work arc has been announced as playable with the 4 characters coming to the DLC. Now, I had speculated not even 2 days ago with a subscriber that we might be getting this through DLC instead of a second sequel. A lot of people are hypothesizing about a second sequel, but really, I think we should be focusing on DLC. Now, I have some theories about who is going to be on the DLC and even when we should be expecting it. So, in the PlayStation Store, you can actually see that it says that you'll be getting all the content for the DLC by March of 2026. And as we know with Bandai, they tend to release their DLCs on a scheduled basis, oftentimes every 2 to 3 months. Now, keep in mind, if you pre-order, which you should, you get a week's early access. Check this out. What I came up with is that I believe these are going to be the 4 characters that are most likely. Yuhabaha. If you pre-order, you get it on June 19th. If you do not pre-order, you get it on June 26th. Unohana. September 18th, if you pre-order. September 25th, if you do not pre-order. A week later. For me, this is kind of a deadlock between Ishin and Uryu. I couldn't pick between the two. I have my reasonings why I want to pick Ishin, and I'll explain in just a moment, but also equally why Uryu would also fit into this. So, they both work, but I'll explain in a second why. And that would be December 18th and December 25th if you do not pre-order. Lastly is Ichigo, True Shikai, with his Horn of Salvation or Bankai, or Bankai. And that would be March 12th, and if you do not pre-order, March 19th. Now, the last day for the DLC that it will be released is the 20th. So unless they do it on a Friday, most of the time they release their DLCs on a Thursday. So if you look at their pattern, with all that knowledge and the fact that you will get a week's early release, these dates pretty much match up. They would release the first character 3 months after launch. And so we get launch on the end of March, beginning of spring, and this is basically 3 months after that. Then 3 months after that, and so on and so forth. At the same time, that is going to be around the same time the Core 4 of 1,000-Year Blood Work arc is actually being released. We don't have a date yet. It should be late 2025 or early 2026. So it'll be right during the end of the season pass. And hopefully, if the game is doing well, then we might be able to get something announced for the future, or something coming soon possibly. My hope is that they have something planned for the future, and this might be a Naruto Shinobi Striker situation where they're going to be releasing more and more content, a Xenoverse Dragon Ball Z situation where they're going to be releasing more and more content. But for that to happen, the community has to support this game. it may be that we're not going to get a sequel for some time. Due to the fact that everyone that I'm predicting was in Core 1 and had a big part to play in the Sun Born in the Dark theme, it tells a story of the Thousand Year Blood at Work arc if you have these characters, right? Ishin tells Ichigo about who he really is, which leads to his true Shikai. The Quincy King is what creates this entire war and basically the theme around it. You know, Uryu is a key player in this entire arc, and Unohana is a key player in Core 1, which is the beginning of the story around the time that they're telling the, you know, Sun Born in the Dark themes. And also, she is one of the most popular. This is really where she was most highlighted. This is where you would show her. This is where you would say, hey, put her in DLC. You're gonna get a buy from me. I'm gonna give you my money. Tam's off, okay? Put Unohana in this, all right? That's it. So it just makes the most sense. These four for me make the most sense. Now when it comes to Ishin and Uryu, really I'm leaning more towards Uryu, but I feel like Ishin would be a really good pick because it'd be someone different. You wouldn't be someone again that's on the roster. As much as I love a Quincy, I think Ishin would be cool. Yeah. It also looks like we'll be able to change our OST, and so we'll be able to change our music depending on when we awaken or reawaken. So imagine being Kaname with Yoroichi's soundtrack. Yeah, I'm gonna be rocking it, okay? I'm gonna listen to everybody's tracks and see who I like best. You might have to even purchase them, I hypothesize, maybe. Who really knows? But that's a really cool addition. I'm glad you can also remove the announcer if you don't really like it, or if you get tired of it, or if you want it back. These are all awesome features which lets you customize the game to fit how you like. So they're really making sure they've given you the options and saying, hey, this is the game we have. We've given you options to customize so many things. You know, they're giving you ways to customize the characters that you're fighting with, the way that they look, the music that they're playing as you're fighting. They're telling you, hey, this is the game we have. We think it's a good game. We think you're going to like it. Is it for you? This is a system overview trailer. So this is going to show you whether this game is for you or if it's not. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's not going to be for everybody, but it might be for you. And this game looks so good. If we really think about this, and I looked into it for a hot moment to check and see it, like, hey, you know, what's the likelihood of a sequel and when will we be getting one? What does it look, you know, what looks realistic, right? And so if we look at Demon Slayer that's coming out this year, it's coming out in 2025. When was the last game? 2021, right? Okay, right? Let's look at Naruto. It came out in 2023. Naruto 4 came out 2016. 6 years. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 2007. So over a decade. Yeah, I'm not waiting for a sequel, and I don't think we should be either. Like I said in my roster prediction, I don't think we should be looking at a sequel. I think we should be looking at DLCs and expansion. And I've been saying that for the past few weeks for a reason. Most of the companies nowadays are looking at DLCs first. A sequel requires more money into another game, which just means more money is being spent rather than just adding to this game. And one of the things that we should be looking at is the fact that they've hinted since the beginning that we would be getting coloring that is of this arc, that is of Thousand Year Blood Work arc. So it's not like they were going, you know, from past generations. They're going from what is current right now, and that also fits what they're also doing, so they could add Thousand Year Blood Work arc. I mean, it just kind of all fits. And then to add more to that, they then added a pre-order where you get skins for the same arc. So the next, I would think would be an obvious step, is you add playable characters to that same arc. I mean, it's right there. But I know it's not always obvious until you see it. Now we see it. So for me, I'm thinking it should be Yhwach, Unohana, Ishin, or Yuryu, and then Ichigo. Just because obviously he's a protagonist. I mean, it's just kind of a given. People are even asking for him now, I've seen. So, I mean, okay. Not for me, but I see it. You know, if it was up to me, it'd be Hashvalt, Basby, Uryu, and yeah, Unohana. Those would be my picks if you had to ask me. And by having these picks, we're able to tell a story of the 1,000-Year Blood Work arc that is able to introduce it to people that may not be familiar with it. It helps people want to get involved, especially by having Yhwach be one of the first picks. It kind of just introduces, hey, Quincy King is here. Who's he? What's he about? I gotta go watch that to figure out what that's about. It's not in story mode, you know? And it helps lead to a sequel or an expansion. So it's a great intro. So I hope you guys see where I'm coming from. Let me know what you guys think down below. This has been your boy Saint Irving, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.